Now on Nightside, fire season has come early to Spokane. The tips local firefighters share with us on how to stay safe this season.
Enjoy a break from the wind for a pleasant Thursday. Meanwhile, I'm tracking cooler, wetter weather on the way in the First Alert forecast.
And Brian Koberger had another pretrial hearing today, the decision Judge Stephen Hippler has to make in the coming days. You're watching 4 News Now, Nightside. Thanks so much for staying up with us tonight. I'm Derek Dice. 2 more fires started today in the Spokane area. The first one was near the intersection of South Cheney Spokane Road and South Marshall Road. This is basically the same location as another fire that started yesterday. According to Spokane County Fire District 3, it was about 300 feet by 300 feet in size, or roughly 1.5 football fields. No homes in the area were at risk. The other fire was in Meade, which started around 3:20 this afternoon. Due to high winds and dry conditions, it began spreading fast, and some structures in the area were threatened. A level 3 evacuation order was issued, but it was lowered to a level 2 a couple of hours later, and all evacuation orders were lifted at 6 o'clock. The cause of this fire has not yet been released. With all the fires we've been seeing recently, it's safe to say fire season is here, and some firefighters believe this year will be worse than others. Dry grass and strong winds are the type of conditions making it difficult to see these brush fires out. They're also the type of conditions firefighters say you typically see about a month from now, which is why they're on high alert this season.
And this is about the earliest that I've ever seen us go to that high fire response. So I think that's indicative of the challenging conditions that we're experiencing. You know, the 90-degree temps coming in. We've got the wind today.
And these fires serve as a reminder of how we can prepare for fire season. Signing up for Alert Spokane and preparing a go bag are good ways to do that. And with how this fire season is predicted to go, firefighters say you should take these steps right now. And with the cold front coming in, we hope it helps ease some of the fire danger that we're under right now. Chris Crocker has more on that in your First Alert forecast.
Well, and yes, and the winds dying down will be a huge help as well. It is amazing that firefighters were able to do such good work today with the kind of winds they were facing. Lewiston, 33-mile-per-hour winds, 35. These are gusts. Moses Lake, Deer Park in that 35-mile-per-hour range. Spokane, right when those fires were going in the late afternoon, had wind gusts close to 40 miles per hour. The same for Coeur d'Alene. Omak, 44-mile-per-hour peak wind gusts. Things have calmed down considerably around the region. Right now, we're not seeing the gusty winds. It's calm in Spokane Valley. Winds generally less than 10 miles per hour around the region. And that will continue to be the case right on through a pretty nice Thursday. Let's take a look hour by hour at your Thursday forecast. Some sunshine to start the day. We'll be at 53 degrees at 7 o'clock, warming up nicely. Not too hot, not too cool, but we'll be 70 by noon with partly cloudy conditions. As you notice, southwesterly winds generally less than 10 miles per hour. We're heading up to a high of 77 with increasing clouds in the late afternoon and evening, but nothing coming out of those clouds until later on Friday. That high of 77 is still just a little bit above our average high of 74, but it is going to get a lot cooler in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, sounds good, Chris. The judge overseeing the University of Idaho murders case says the trial will likely remain on track to begin this August. Brian Koberger's defense team has been fighting to get the trial delayed, partly because they still haven't reviewed all of the evidence to be able to properly defend him in this trial. Attorney Ann Taylor and her team have had 68 terabytes worth of information to sift through. She hinted that if this trial were to happen in August, it would be an ineffective assistance of counsel. She also took aim at the excessive media coverage of this case, arguing it will make it near impossible to find an impartial jury, saying the NBC Dateline leak was just the tip of the iceberg.
There's a book set to be released just a few weeks from now, to be followed by a docuseries on Amazon Prime. There's a claim that there's inside sources that provide information in this case. At the very least, the moment we start attempting to select a jury in this case, those things are going to be on everybody's TV, everybody's social media feed.
And the prosecution countered that point, arguing delaying the trial because of every breaking news story puts the case at the whim of the media. The judge will make a formal decision in the coming days. The number of victims in Sunday's carjacking spree is now at 2 as a motorcyclist who was struck died from his injuries today. Another man was shot while trying to stop the violence. The chaos unraveled Sunday morning when the Spokane County Sheriff's Office reported a carjacking in Spokane Valley. The suspect from this series of crimes, Ryan Teitzord, then crossed state lines where he hit Richard Embry, who was out enjoying a motorcycle ride with his daughter and her boyfriend. Gary Hill, a man who appeared to be trying to protect the people around him, was also shot and killed by Teitzord. We spoke to Hill's son today.
Best thing I can say is I'm very thankful that he did it, and he helped, save lives and help protect other people.
And these crimes created chaos in both Washington and Idaho, leading to several road closures. Hill's son said he was watching the crimes unfolding on a news app, unaware his dad's life was taken in the middle of it. While tragic, he says it was just the kind of person his father was, one who would put himself in harm's way to keep others safe. The investigation into the motive behind these crimes continues. A local nonprofit, the Manzanita House, is looking for more attorneys to help its immigrant legal aid program. The program's director says the threat of mass deportations and increased ICE check-ins has resulted in a big increase in immigrants looking for legal help. Even with legal status, some immigrants are worried about how changing immigration laws could affect them.
Even in the best of circumstances, immigration law is incredibly complex. It's just a very big area, both of the statutory law, so laws that Congress is passing, but also regulatory, the agencies creating their rules and implementing them.
Director Samuel Smith says more than 10 attorneys have already reached out to help. The charges against former Spokane City Council President Ben Stuckert have been dismissed. Stuckert, along with about 30 other people, were arrested last Wednesday by Spokane police during a protest outside the downtown ICE facility. Stuckert organized that protest with the intention of keeping a van from leaving the facility. That van was there to take people to the immigration detention facility in Tacoma. Stuckert told Mayor Lisa Brown his group intended to peacefully protest and stay at the facility until they were arrested. Well, tomorrow is Juneteenth, the holiday that commemorates the end of slavery, and there are local celebrations taking place throughout the weekend. Tomorrow, there will be a fireside chat with former Seattle Seahawk Cliff Averill at Gonzaga's Hemmingson Center. Also tomorrow, the Spokane Indians will hold King Carl Night at Avista Stadium in honor of civil rights activist and champion boxer Carl Maxey. And on Saturday, the Soul Food Fest and Resource Fair will be held at the MLK Center. Our Hannah Joy will be live from Grant Park tomorrow, giving us a sneak peek of the entertainment plan for their festival that will be held from noon to 4. You can catch that on Good Morning Northwest starting at 5 a.m. All right, the Oklahoma City Thunder are just one win away from becoming NBA champs, which means it's do or die time for the Indiana Pacers.
Well, the good news for the Pacers is that they're moving the series Game 6 tomorrow back to their home court, but the bad news is their star player is injured. That would be, of course, Tyrese Halliburton. He has been just coming up with some wildly clutch plays in the playoffs, hitting multiple game-winning shots throughout the Pacers' postseason run, but he is dealing with a lower leg injury that Coach Rick Carlisle says is going to force them to make a game-time decision on whether or not Halliburton plays tomorrow. Pacers guard and former Zag Andrew Nembhard says taking down a favored OKC team is a challenge they're just using as fuel.
It's an exciting challenge. This is the things that you get excited about, you play for. It's going to be fun in here, and it's leave it all out there. It's a do or die. You don't want to regret anything.
Nembhard also adds it's crucial that the team cleans up their turnovers. In Game 5, the Pacers had 22 turnovers compared to the Thunder's 11. Of course, you can watch Game 6 of the NBA Finals right here on KXLY with coverage starting at 5 o'clock. And then we'll be back with a special edition of 4 News Now after the game tomorrow night.
All right, Sydney, thank you. In 9 days and 9 hours from right now, the largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament in the world will be hitting the streets of downtown Spokane with the return of Hoopfest. The tournament takes place on June 28th and 29th. Applications for volunteer monitors and court monitors are still being accepted. Full-time monitors will be given a t-shirt, hat, and shorts. Each monitor who completes their weekend assignments will also get a gift card to Dick's Sporting Goods. Hoopfest is once again expecting some 6,000 teams playing on more than 400 courts downtown. Well, good news for drivers in Pend Oreille County who use the Lost Creek Bridge on Highway 20. Your drive should now be a lot easier because the bridge is now reopened to traffic. There's currently one lane open, and it'll likely stay that way through the end of next week. A traffic signal has been placed at each end of the bridge, and detour signs have been removed. Construction crews have been working to replace the bridge deck surface and a girder. Well, a piece of Spokane history could soon have a new chapter. The Lowell Schoolhouse in Vinegar Flats was originally built in 1899. It was used by Spokane Public Schools until 1954. But now it's up for sale. The approximately 6,000 square foot building has been on the market for about a year now. Listing agents say some features from the 1900s remain, but there have also been many renovations. Local businesses tell 4 News Now they're excited about the possibilities for the space.
So like a coffee shop in the front with like easy, healthy grab-and-go meals, and then maybe even like a workout studio in one of the rooms. There's plumbing for a bar in the basement. It should be a bar, like a speakeasy type of thing.
And we'll show you inside that property and hear more ideas for the future of the old schoolhouse tomorrow on Good Morning Northwest. All right, still ahead, the latest on the Iran-Israel conflict and what President Trump has to say about it, and what parents can do to keep their kids from getting sick from heat-related illnesses.
It is Wildlife Wednesday, and here's just a preview. My favorite animal, a young bull moose, looking good. Mark Vogt spotted this healthy young bull moose, and the moose spotted him too. Once he made eye contact, he went off into the brush. You can see he's still losing his winter coat. He might want to hold on to that this weekend. I'll have a chilly forecast after the break.
Download the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV.
Vineyard Park at South Hill, now open for independent living, assisted living, and memory care.
We got a top quality show for you tonight. Fabulous. You guys are fantastic.
I see you, Jimmy.
Feel the late night love.
I really like him. Can I go now?
No.
Jimmy Kimmel Live, new weeknights on ABC.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. From the Kelley Blue Book Best Value brand. Right now, you can get a 2.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot.
AAA asked me if I would change my name from Sir Mix-a-Lot to Sir Mix-a-Lot. So I said, yeah, all right, I'll change my name. Give me 3 A's, mix, A, mix, A. When I say mix, give me 3 A's, mix, A.
Life happens. Lucky for you, the new ICCU Central Plus checking account comes with benefits, including cell phone protection.
Wait, through my ICCU checking account?
That's right. Along with a whole lot of other benefits you might need. Because being human is a full-time job.
Summer's heating up, but your home doesn't have to. During Mainstream's No Sweat Summer Sales event, it's easier than ever to upgrade your comfort with the best financing offer of the year. For a limited time, enjoy 6 months, no payments, no interest on new AC systems. Stay cool, save big, worry less. Call Mainstream today or visit mainstreamhomeservices.com to take advantage of this amazing offer. Cooler air is just a click or call away. Don't sweat it. Mainstream has you covered.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
Hi, welcome back to Nightside. School is out for summer, and that means kids are going to be spending more time outdoors as they attend camps and sports practices, or they're just playing outside. But as the temperature continues to rise, so does the risk of kids having heat-related health issues. CNN's Mandy Gaither has the tips on how to best protect your kids.
As the temperatures rise, so does the risk of getting really sick from the hot sun.
It's hard for your body to actually sweat out that heat and to get rid of it. So you're at much higher risk of heat-related problems.
Dr. Ashley Brulette with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says this time of year, it's especially important to keep kids hydrated before, during, and after activities. She says if they're outside for under an hour, make sure they're drinking plenty of water. But if they're spending more than 60 minutes outdoors, she suggests supplementing with a sports drink.
And then also being mindful of what time of day we're doing activities. So doing things earlier in the morning, later at night, having shady breaks, things like that are going to be really important for monitoring long term.
If your child is an athlete, Brulette says to gradually introduce heat before outdoor practice to allow the body to acclimate to it and be mindful of equipment and clothing that they're wearing.
Not overdressing, light layers, light colors, things like that will be helpful.
Knowing signs of heat-related illnesses is also important. The most severe sickness from the sun is heat stroke. Symptoms include confusion, irrational behavior, drowsiness, nausea, vomiting, and a high temperature of 104 degrees and above. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
All right, while heat illnesses may not be a concern this weekend, they could be again as we get into next week. Chris Crocker here now.
We're going to cool down dramatically and then warm right back up. 4 things to know about your weather. Much calmer on Thursday, thank goodness. Our cool down really starts on Friday into a cool, showery weekend. There will be some breaks in the rain, which we will be able to time as we get a little bit closer to the weekend, and the 80s, mid and upper 80s return by this time next week. Today we hit 80 in Spokane, which is above average, 82 in Coeur d'Alene. We're in the 70s in Sandpoint, at Colville, 88 in Lewiston. Will be a little bit cooler around the region tomorrow thanks to some clouds moving in the second part of the day. 77 in the Spokane area as well as Coeur d'Alene. Some 80s right around Spokane. 9 Mile, Meade, downtown, all 80 degrees, 75 in Spangle as well as Spirit Lake. Then things really get cool. We're dropping below average for the first time this month on Friday, then down to 58 on Saturday, well below our average high. But then we warm up 30 degrees up to 88 by Wednesday of next week. So a quick drop in temperatures and a quick opportunity to get some precipitation thanks to this area of low pressure. We've been tracking it all week. This upper level trough swings in starting Friday. Here's Friday at 1 o'clock with a good chance of showers around the region. I think you'll notice the percentage chance of precipitation up a little bit tomorrow as this system right now, I've got it at 30%. I'm feeling a little more confident about measurable rain on Friday and then into Saturday, more precipitation on Sunday. And this is the latest look at some of the precipitation totals we may see around the region. I think our Sandpoint total is an error. It'll be more than that, closer to a ½ inch, but just about everywhere managing some measurable rain, some more beneficial than others, hopefully even more than what we've got there. Summer officially starts on Friday evening. Our first weekend of summer feeling a lot more like spring, especially with those nice overnight low temperatures. And then we are right back up with the sunny, hot weather by the middle of next week. Some Wildlife Wednesday photos to share with you. Kathy Bolam imaged this stunning yellow-headed blackbird out at the Celtice wetlands. What a gorgeous bird. I love how the tail feathers are all fanned out. Our friend Nora Jen at Banks Lake captured this image of a little turtle enjoying some sunny, warm weather at the lake. Pretty good place to be a turtle. And James Richmond, gorgeous scene here of a bald eagle feeding 2 little eaglets in a humongous nest along the Little Spokane River. Thanks to everyone who contributed photos this week. And we'll look forward to some cooler weather on the way. Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. Well, President Trump met with top security officials today for the second time in 2 days. Intelligence sources telling ABC News he's weighing whether or not to launch a strike against Iran. ABC's Zoreen Shah has the story.
Tonight, sources familiar with classified assessments tell ABC News that President Trump is growing more comfortable with the idea of ordering a military strike on Iran's Fordo nuclear facility, a site dug nearly 300 feet into a mountainside. The president gathering his national security team twice in the last day. ABC News has learned the president has reviewed detailed strike options, telling senior advisors he supports the planning, but has not yet made the call.
I may do it, I may not do it. I mean, nobody knows what I'm going to do. I can tell you this, that Iran's got a lot of trouble.
This comes as Israel steps up its military campaign. The Israeli Defense Forces claiming responsibility for striking over 60 Iranian targets, including suspected nuclear research centers and weapons factories. President Trump has demanded Iran's unconditional surrender, but Iran's supreme leader is not backing down. The Ayatollah saying, surrender to what? The Iranian nation cannot be surrendered. We will not accept any kind of submission. He warned the U.S. would suffer irreparable consequences if it intervenes militarily. Warning sirens blaring across Israel again tonight as missiles were seen over the skies of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Anti-war protesters gathering outside the White House tonight.
My supporters are for me. My supporters are America first and make America great again. My supporters don't want to see Iran have a nuclear weapon.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, choking deaths can affect anyone, but they tend to happen mostly in small kids and seniors. And choking is a top concern for babies and toddlers due to their tiny airways and their tendencies to put toys in their mouths. Parents of small children may be familiar with devices like these, which are promoted as being easy to use and provide life-saving results if your child is choking. But a pediatrician we spoke with from Multicare Rockwood Pediatrics in Spokane says using a device like this is actually delaying what should be first in the process if your child is choking.
You are delaying what we know is the first line if you are using these devices first.
The life-saving tips parents should know in Kirsten O'Connor's special report. It's on KXOY.com right now. Well, next on Nightside, a popular cough syrup for kids has been recalled. What you should do if this is in your medicine cabinet. Don't go.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app. 4 News Now anchors, not just in the newsroom, but in the community, doing the work, listening to you, asking questions to help keep your family safe. We're the people you trust on your screens and in your neighborhood. And we'll always be there on 4 News Now.
Summer is here in the Pacific Northwest, and it's set to be a scorcher. But why suffer through another season of sweltering heat and box fans? Call the experts at Bill's Heating and AC. With a lowest price guarantee, free second opinions, and a warehouse full of top quality equipment, we're ready to make your summer comfortable without breaking the bank. Technicians are on standby. Call for your free quote today.
Which automaker employs the most hourly workers in the country? Ford. Which automaker assembles the most vehicles in the country? Ford. That's not a coincidence. It's a commitment. A commitment Ford dealers share by offering employee pricing across a full lineup of Ford vehicles.
Get employee pricing plus 1.9% and $4,500 bonus cash on a 2024 Ford F-150 STX. Only at your local Ford dealer.
One call, that's all, means we take care of everything after your car wreck.
From dealing with insurance companies to helping you find doctors and repair shops,
Craig Swap and Associates made the whole process so easy.
One call, that's all.
509-999-9999.
The old me was stuck in the daily grind. My routine didn't allow for any self-expression. I found clay, and that changed everything. I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative, to build something. And that's how Clay Room was born. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. There's a creative side in all of us. That's what I hope people come here to find.
Earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials with the Chase Ink Business Cash Card from Chase for Business. Make more of what's yours.
4 News Now is brought to you by Gold Seal Plumbing.
Welcome back to Nightside. A consumer alert now for children's cough syrup. If you have this honey-flavored little remedy syrup in your medicine cabinet, the FDA is warning that it could be contaminated with bacteria. The affected bottles were sold nationwide from December 14th of 2022 through June 4th of this year. Ingesting the bacteria could lead to nausea, vomiting, or stomach cramps, so people are warned to stop using the product. If you have a bottle purchased during this time, even if it's still within its expiration date, the product maker, MedTech, says don't use it as they are offering full refunds. Now for the top trending stories in our story tracker. At number 3, a jury found Karen Reed not guilty of second-degree murder or manslaughter today. She was found guilty of the lesser charge of drunken driving. The jury deliberated for at least 22 hours. Reed was suspected of killing her boyfriend, who was a police officer in Boston in 2022. At number 2, a crash on Highway 395 north of Spokane blocked traffic in both directions this afternoon. This was near Dragoon Road, south of Denison-Chattaroy Road. The crash was cleared at around 2 p.m. And in our most read story, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children is asking for help finding a 16-year-old Spokane girl. Elizabeth Stuckert was last seen leaving school on June 13th. If you believe you see her, call the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. You can find each of these stories right now on KXLY.com. All right, the 2025 NBA Draft is 1 week from today right here on ABC, and you'll probably see a couple of local players hear their names called on Wednesday night.
Well, not only hear their names called, but actually one local player is probably going to get drafted in the first round. Coming up next in sports, which Washington State and Gonzaga draft hopefuls are hoping to get selected for the pros. That's coming up next in sports.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now's Get Outside Guide is brought to you by Click It RV.
It's time to party!
Monday, July 7th.
And now we're in the jungle.
Ready to find some love. Let's dance, Paradise.
Paradise is back.
Good things are coming.
New beach.
Viva la Costa Rica!
New challenges. And here come the Goldens.
Oh, look at, I got my inner knees done. They're reformed.
Bachelor in Paradise premieres July 7th on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models.
ShopDaveSmith.com.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Spokane's hottest music.
Break me so done with you, girl. I've been popping, man, I feel just like a rock star.
Hot 96.9.
Hey, your homework done?
Yeah.
Hey, is your homework done?
This kind of is homework. So, what do you think?
I'm so proud of you. Can I play some more?
Is all your work done?
Washington's Lottery is a proud partner in the goal to promote college and career training. Each time you play, you're helping students statewide.
Well, the Spokane Indians are still on board the struggle bus, now losing their 8th game in a row. The loss coming in Game 2 of the series against the Aqua Sox tonight. The Indians gave up 7 runs just in 2 innings, 3 of those as home runs, and ended up beating the Indians with a final score of 9-3. First baseman Charlie Condon is a bright spot for this team right now, despite their losing streak. He has safely reached a base in all 25 of his games with the Indians this season, including a solo home run today. The Indians will try to avoid 9 losses in a row with another game against Everett tomorrow at 6:35. And just when you start to get excited about the Mariners, they just bring us all back to earth. Today's Game 3 against the Red Sox was a pretty large contrast from yesterday's 8 runs on offense. The Red Sox take the series with a 3-1 win thanks to Boston's Trevor Story's 2-run homer right there. And after the loss, the Mariners are still in second in AL West standings, but now a whole 5 games behind the first place Houston Astros. They're going to look to close that gap in the next series against the Cubs. That one starts Friday in Chicago at 11:20.
You know, we kind of have to take all the experiences, good and bad, that we've had up to this point and take that unique game 6 and, you know, try and execute on it.
Chet Holmgren says OKC is ready to clinch the title tomorrow in Game 6 of the NBA Finals. The Thunder lead the series 3-2, and if they win against the Pacers tomorrow night, they'll win their first championship in franchise history. The theme for the Pacers, though, throughout the playoffs is their ability to show up in those big moments. So we'll see if OKC claims the title or if Indiana forces a Game 7. You can catch the action tomorrow on KXLY at 5:30. And it's not common. We talk about Washington State Cougars going in the first round of the NBA draft. It actually hasn't happened since Cougar legend Klay Thompson went 11th overall in 2011. But according to several mock drafts, Cedric Coward might be the next first rounder from WSU. Coward has played in the Inland Northwest for 3 seasons now, spending 2 seasons at Eastern Washington with David Riley before making the hour-and-a-half road trip to Washington State last season. Coward only played 6 games for the Cougs before he was ruled out with a season-ending injury, but he still put up impressive numbers, averaging 17.7 points and 7 rebounds during his time with the Cougars. Most mock drafts have him off the board in the first round. I've seen as high as 12th overall, all the way to the last pick of the first round, which would be 30th overall. As far as the Zags go, Ryan Nembhard has been making a name for himself in the weeks leading up to the draft, including earning an invite to the draft combine and working out with several teams. A lot of mock drafts have Nembhard going later in the second round. NBC Sports has him at 47th. ESPN has put him as one of the last picks of the draft, 58 out of 59. He would be a smaller point guard for the league, but he makes a big difference as a role player. We've seen it firsthand with those assist records he's broken during his time at Gonzaga. Of course, going to talk more about the draft hopefuls over the next few days before the draft begins right here on KXLY a week from today at 5 o'clock.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering, like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
Now, get $4,250 total customer cash, plus $2,250 in trade assistance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Are you in need of an update? Panhandle Carpet One is more than just flooring. We've launched our brand new Cabinet Design Center and remodel showroom. From custom cabinetry and stunning flooring options, our experts bring your dream space to life. Hardwood, luxury vinyl, carpet, laminate, tile, window treatments, and cabinets. Panhandle Carpet One Floor and Home. Now your destination for floors, cabinets, and complete home style. Visit us on West Appleway or start designing at panhandlecarpet1coeur d'Alene.com.
You know, Donnie, when people hire the advocates, they don't just get me and you. They get a whole team of attorneys and paralegals ready to jump in and fight.
Gathering evidence, shutting down aggressive insurance adjusters.
Do what it takes.
Right. Hey, Ken, I'm ordering lunch. What do you want?
What are you getting?
A sandwich and potato soup.
There, you said it. Potato.
Ken, I'm joking. Nobody says it that way.
Injured? You deserve an advocate.
Advocate.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a rugged new Toyota Tacoma for just $309 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Tomorrow should be a really nice day. Comfortable temperatures. The sun will disappear later in the day. And then there's rain on the way for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and possibly Monday.
Okay. Again, we'll remind ourselves that we actually really need this rain. So it is a good thing. And those temperatures will go back up in a couple more days. You'll survive. All right. Thanks for being with us. We'll see y'all tomorrow.